Hi, Subra.
Right. Okay, so we have everyone and welcome everyone. Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the webinar. Let me introduce Subra, and Subra is going to introduce everyone else. Right, Subra?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So Subra is leading the e-lean consulting, and he's an experienced lean implementation and practitioner. So Subra, just introduce yourself and then keep start the webinar.
Right. Hello, everyone. It is glad to have you from different parts of the world. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Okay. Thanks, Tony, for the quick introduction. And myself, Subramanian Vaidyanathan. You can call me shortly Subra. Okay. And I have close to 25 plus years of experience on lean implementation, starting from my career as well as with consulting practice. So currently, I'm the founder as well as principal consultant of Experiential Lean Consulting, which is based out of UAE. And we are closely working with the Tony as well as Warren and Tom, okay, on lean construction implementation as well as training support for this region. Okay. A quick introduction. Okay, we have today excellent and expert speakers with us. Okay, we have Mr. Warren, okay, who is the director curriculum development in the agency. So he has 25 plus years of experience, and he has authored the Lean Construction Education Program. Not only he has authored, he continued to develop based on the feedback from the practitioners, based on the feedback from the consulting partners. So also he has excellent experience, hands-on experience in consulting with lean construction. And it is great to have the author as well as the exam mm, developer with us today. Warren, welcome to the webinar. And
Thank you.
yeah, we have Tom Richard. He's the management principal of Rising Terrain LLC. He's one of the founding member of Lean Construction Institute, and he's another excellent expert in lean construction world. He has close to 20 plus years of experience in lean construction prac- practicing as well as consulting as well as advising coaching clients based out of UK, and he is one of the renowned leader in lean construction domain and thought leader. And it's great to have Tom Richard with us. Hi, Tom.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
great to
you.
be here.
Yeah. And we have another gentleman, Tony Jacob. He is the director of Constack Consulting, and he has great 20 plus years of experience based out of India as well as GCC. And he has two domain expertise. One is on project management, another one is on construction. And he has also authored lean construction management books recently, and another lean construction expert with us. So it's we have the curriculum developer and the practitioner and the implementer and coach. So we have all the right minds with the 60 plus years of experience, and they are so excited to have them. And even I am so excited along with all of you to listen and learn from them. Okay, right. And participants, okay, like you can uh, continue to put your questions on the chat, and we have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar where Tony will lead the Q&A sessions, and the sessions will start with uh, Warren, Tom Richard first, and then Warren will follow, and then Tony will follow. Okay, okay. Over to Tom Richard. Okay. Yeah.
Great, good. Um,
Tom,
and
would you like to share your laptop or I have to just, run as you suggest? What do you prefer?
I'll be able to share this.
Okay, so I'll stop
So,
sharing and then you can start here.
okay,
That's great. You're in. Yes, perfect.
wonderful, good. So Wonderful to be here with you today. We're talking about building lean capability. And I think about capability more or less as the muscle that allows you to take these principles and these practices and build a real solid and successful project. So be running through those and just want to check that. I'm going to go ahead and just enlarge this as much as I can.
Tom, the screen sharing is gone. Screen sharing is gone. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Apologize for that. I'll reshare and see if I can get back the controls on the project okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah, it's coming. Yes, I can see it. Yes.
Yes,
Great.
Tom.
Good. All right, great. So when we talk about the construction industry, we're talking about projects that have a lot of times increasing complexity and challenges. And they're really this puzzle that we have to put together. And what we're addressing in our industry, there's just growing technological sophistication of our buildings. That's requiring even greater numbers of people to be involved in how we design and build these projects. The greater complexity also results in a lot of uncertainties in terms of the early design and the need to make decisions without really understanding sometimes what the implications of those decisions might be, resulting in changes. And of course, our clients have their own pressures in terms of what they're dealing with in terms of, whether it's services they're providing or a commercial enterprise that they're building. And so all of that really creates a significant amount of challenge for our industry. And tools alone aren't really enough to address these issues. We need to think about underlying strength that we have to build in terms of our project teams and our organizations if we're going to address all of these challenges. If you think about that capability to address the challenges, there are really three elements that come together and create really something of a flywheel in terms of generating energy to get our projects done in a way that promotes excellence and satisfies what our clients are looking for. And that flywheel starts with creating alignment or a shared understanding of what it is we're even need to do, both in the long run for the project itself, but also day by day. That requires that we build reliable habits in terms of the work that we're doing. So, it's one thing to understand how to use lean tools. It's quite another thing to build the capability of using them habitually, so that they're familiar and they're just the way that we do things. And building these reliable habits then allows us to start to think about how we develop learning cycles so that when things don't happen the way that we expect, we can adjust, learn from that, make improvements. That really feeds into clarifying, our shared understanding of how we're going to work together. Again, goes back into our habits, improving them, and then learning from that. So this creates a cycle that ideally on a project just continues throughout and builds our capability to deliver excellent projects. That same cycle also exists not just in our organizations, but also in our companies, the individual companies that come together. You see that same type of need to build this kind of capability. Let's start talking first about team alignment. This is, really the foundation of it, and something that we don't always address in sufficient detail or think about. At least, my experience, we talk about the lean principle of respect for people. And unfortunately, At least in my work and in my observation, a lot of people tend to take those words and interpret them to mean, well, we're going to be nice to each other, we're going to treat each other with civility. The concept's really much deeper than that. Respect for people. It was popularized when it was published in the English version in the Toyota Way 2000 document. Toyota was looking to share with their different facilities around the world their type of thinking and what fed into the organization. But if you go into the roots of that phrase, as John Miller, who grew up in Japan learning English and Japanese and later interpreting a lot of Toyota's operating procedures into English for their operations in the US, John interprets the original phrase to mean an appreciation and almost a reverence for the nature of humanity. So it's more about not respecting each other as individuals, but respecting how important it is that we work together for a common mission. A better way of taking those English words, respect for people, and understanding their meaning might even be to look at the word from South Africa, Ubuntu, which means something along the lines of I am because you are. But it's really around this concept that to work successfully, we need to think of ourselves as a common organization. So in the West, on that left image, there's at least a lot of emphasis on, or a lot of thinking about organizations as just a bunch of parts, like a machine, and one part goes bad, you simply replace it. The reality is organizations are more like the photo on the right, where they're a team, and the best player, and they're the stars, if you will, the ones who might get the most recognition. Put them on a poor team, they'll perform as a bad player. It's only because they're part of a really good team that their skills are allowed to shine, and people are allowed to see how well they can perform. We all perform better when we're part of a stronger team. And that's what that respect for people is. It's really about how do we align together, understand what it is that we want to accomplish together, and work in that way. That's really a foundation for what was successful at Toyota, what's successful at other organizations that you see that do work in an excellent way. And it's a model for what we need on our projects as we implement lean practices. So this is important and I've seen this on projects that are successful, that they slow down from time to time and have conversations just to make sure they all understand what it is they're trying to accomplish with the project, whether it's an airport, a hospital, a factory, a housing project. What is it that we're trying to accomplish in terms of not only what is the building or what is the facility or what is the campus, but what are the quality involved? What are we allowed to do to achieve our objectives? What are the boundaries? What can't we do? And what are we all contributing individually and as sub-teams to the project? There are oftentimes projects and people can rush into assumptions about what other people are doing or what other strengths people bring or what other qualities. And those assumptions may be wrong, oftentimes are, because they're based on a surface view of what other people are contributing. You need to slow down and have these conversations and align with each other, even on something as straightforward as what is the purpose of our project. And that's what this team is doing here. They're slowing down. It's a leadership team on a hospital project, and they're making sure that they're understanding together how they're contributing in their role of leaders on this project. And this may come across, at least in the US, we use a term soft skills and hard skills, and hard skills are associated with things like engineering, things that require math and science, and the soft skills are related to things that have to do with human relationships and working together. Um, as Tom Peters has written, the soft skills are really the hard part. And there's actually quite a bit of logic around this. And if you're really curious about this dynamic of an organization as more or less more like a team as opposed to a machine, this is a great book. The Art of Action by Stephen Bungay, both a historian and a strategist, it's really helps set an understanding for how organizations can be successful when they're run as if they were a living entity, as opposed to a machine. That machine type of frame tends to break down, particularly in competitive environments, whether that's in business, whether that's in sports, whether that's in the military. That machine type of thinking doesn't really appreciate the dynamic nature of what it means to be people working together. So it's a book that I would recommend. So let's just dig in a little bit more into each of these elements. Leadership clarity. We practice using a conditions of satisfaction. You may do that or do something similar. It's not important to read everything in that diagram on the left, but it shows you that this team has thought about what's important to them, and they've organized it in different areas. And every project team has a very different approach to what their conditions of satisfaction might be, and some are more general, and some like you see here are very specific. But it's clarity on what's important to us. What will make this a successful project? You need to be very specific about that and clear and communicating it. On a lot of projects that I work on, the conditions of satisfaction, whether that detailed or more general, it's posted around the project site, in the project planning rooms, in the design offices. It's made clear for everybody what's important to the project. The second element is reliable planning habits. The Last Planner system is an excellent structure and methodology for that. And I suspect most people are familiar with that. And then how do we learn? So if you have ever read High Velocity Edge by Steve Spear, or his latest book with Gene Kim on wiring the winning organization, you get the appreciation for how important it is to constantly be learning. The best organizations in the world are learning faster than their peers, and that's why they're the best. Steve Spear notes this in particular with Toyota and a few other examples, but he asserts they're getting 4 times the results of their peer organizations. They're basically doing twice as much with half the resources, and that's only because they have this learning cycle, which in Lean we often refer to as plan, do, check, act, or plan, do, study, adjust. You'll find in other disciplines outside of Lean very similar learning cycles in terms of understanding how important it is to learn from our environment, not just our mistakes, but our successes, and how to get better. So just because all of those 3 are important, just we'll drill into each of those a little bit more. This first one is it's very easy on projects to have competing priorities. There are a lot of people involved in projects, and even on an owner side, there may be different ideas about what's important to that project. And you're only going to work through that through conversations and questions and documenting and sharing, these discussions to get to what's important. You need to basically shift anything that's unclear in terms of what's important to the owner and the key stakeholders, and get clarity on that. A lot of times too, we don't know what our limits are. This is more an issue in design than in construction, but it's an important one. We may sort of design or see things outside of the boundaries of what's allowed in terms of cost or the time available to build a project. So we have to be clear about what the boundaries are as well. And then revisit this idea of just there are a lot of assumptions out on when people work together. We come with some preconceptions about what other people can do, what they're contributing, what they will be doing in the next week and month and year. And it's important to resolve any of those assumptions and get a clarity around what people are thinking and doing. Reliable planning habits. And here in Lean, this is where if we're using the last planner system, a lot of people are doing quite well in this. But it's important that you have consistency in using these tools. And I think my observation is one of the most underutilized aspects of the last planner system is the milestone planning part of it, which is really an important part because that's where the strategy for how the project will unfold gets determined. There are still some projects that I see where the milestone planning is left to a traditional CPM process, and then the milestones are picked out of the calendar. It's better to create a strategy around it. And then you are planning in the phase level and on the weekly level in ways that align with a consistent strategy. But you really want to get to the point where you're reliably understanding what other people on your project are doing, how your role fits into it. So the last planner system, if for those that haven't really taken a deep dive into that, it's an important tool in terms of, and really system of tools for understanding how to get in the habit of working together. And I'll stress the habit part. It's not something to use occasionally. There are daily and weekly habits that are part of using that methodology that really pay off. It's no different than having, if you're an athlete, a habit of strength training, of speed training, of ball handling. Those kinds of skills for an athlete become habits. They develop them on a regular basis. It's the same thing in our work, in particular with planning and coordination. They need to become habitual and not simply reactions to problems. And then keeping the learning up front and always being involved. And that is as straightforward as learning after meetings or sessions. There's a plus delta exercise. If you're not using something like that, it's very helpful. It's really just a quick assessment by a group of people who have had a conversation or discussion or a planning meeting about what's working in the way they relate to each other, and what the delta isn't a negative critique. The delta is, hey, if we tried some of these things, these meetings might be better or might accomplish the outcomes in a better way. There are other metrics on a project, and they could be financial. They could be in terms of the ones I show on the screen happen to be related to the last planner system in terms of percent plan complete, task made ready, task anticipated, planning variances. There are also budget feedback and metrics you can learn from. The point is you really want to be continually understanding and learning together as a team. And that's where the visible nature of it is. These charts and diagrams aren't hidden away in individual notebooks or files on somebody's laptop. They are up front and center displayed, whether it's on a monitor, whether it's paper on a wall. They're in places where people not only can see them, but also can have conversations about them. So it's an important part of building capability for performing in a lean way. And the results you get can be tremendous. I was fortunate enough to work with an excellent team that really took all of these practices. They really aligned as a team, had work sessions that were focused really on understanding what their project was about and how each of them were contributing individually and as a team. They used the planning habits and on the other lean practices in a way that was very authentic. And they were specifically a learning organization. In fact, uh, one of the shared leadership conversations they had was specifically around how do we create a project team where everybody, and they sincerely meant everybody, so that included the people in the design offices, the people in the field that were building the building, how everybody becomes a part of a learning organization. So there, if you're familiar with the idea of Gemba walks, on this project, the architects and engineers were literally on the project having conversations with the tradespeople about, how could they have designed the project in a way that would have made construction easier. They were always learning about, how they could do their job better. And so here's the results. They took a 19-month project and finished it in 14. They were able to reduce the cost over a very similar building on a square foot basis by 12%. So a very similar building that had been built the year before. They reduced the cost by 12%. So you can really create some tremendous value for your clients. They will also tell you this was in some ways the most fun and the easiest job that they had because they were working in this way. So while the results may seem heroic, it was not one of these projects where people put in 12-hour days, 6 days a week, and tried to be heroes in that way. They worked at a comfortable pace and generated these results. Really had developed these elements that I'm calling the basic components of lean capability. And I do want to, really point out the importance of learning. So, and one of the best examples comes outside of the lean world, but comes from this recent book by Gene Kim and Steve Spear. They write about the MIT Sloan School sailing team in Italy. So apparently, if you're in the MIT Sloan program, you have an opportunity to go to school in Italy for a while. And they had decided to enter sailing regatta races. And so they had a couple experienced sailors on the team. Other people really had very little sailing experience. And they took this approach of learning that would seem somewhat drastic from the standpoint of competing. In their very first race, every time they had a problem, they just stopped the boat. They worked through why the problem came up. They worked through how they would, they would resolve the problem so it wouldn't come up again. They're stopped in the water during the middle of a race. They're not performing well in those initial races, but that's the approach they took every time they made a mistake. As they got towards the middle of the season, they were consistently placing in the top 3 positions of racing. And the following season, they were in position to win the overall season. So this is how you get better, is taking time to stop and learn daily and weekly. So you don't skip the daily huddles. Don't skip the weekly learning from how well your plans have actually been realized out in the field. Understand where there's disconnects, or you're not on the same have the same understanding in terms of what you need to be doing. Learn from those. remove the friction that gets in the way of our projects. Friction is another way to think about waste. It slows us down. And so, take sort of a lesson from what these people in the MIT Sloan School sailing team learned. It's worthwhile to slow down at first, address all your problems, and learn from them, because over time, that's what makes you faster. So two ways to build capability, or two steps. Each are important. The first is education. There are tools and the processes and practices out there that are important to learn. And so you need to find a way to understand them. And then the second is practice. So you need to apply it. If you're learning to fly, you don't just get in the plane right away and start flying and figure it out. You're probably going to crash the plane if you do that. You need a little bit of education and learn principles of flight, learn what the controls are about, and understand that. That's book and classroom learning. And then you get to practice under the care of an instructor or a coach. So same thing in Lean. You need the education and you need to practice both. Warren will talk about this role of education a little bit more, but I'll stress that a very good option because it's available in very different formats, including a virtual format, is the AGC Lean Construction Education Program. And it's a wonderful program for building that initial knowledge and education. The second is coaching. And so, of course, as an external coach who consults to teams, I can promote that in a way that may be somewhat biased, but it is important to have ways of practicing these lean the skills and tools until you build them. But coaching is not only external. So that lower photo is showing a general contractor, superintendent working with the trade foreman and providing coaching. So coaching should always be happening on the project. There are people that you ought to be coaching because your skill set, your knowledge, your experience is something you can impart and share with people. And spending, in this case, Ryan on the left would spend 10 to 15 minutes with several different trade foremen every week. And what he's doing is he's building their capability to think about their work, their ability to plan ahead, see ahead what they need. That kind of coaching is important, as well as your initial learning and training. So again, education and coaching are both important. Just recap, the alignment is important, and it's going to accelerate your delivery. So it may seem like taking time out for conversations slows things down, but it actually will accelerate the project. You need to be very disciplined about applying your planning discipline or methods, and think about it as a skill that you keep developing. There are reasons why musicians, good musicians anyway, will practice their scales every day. That's what keeps them at the top of their playing capability and expertise. And then just there's a lot of you want to examine issues. You don't want to superficially make decisions. And there are some lean tools like choosing by advantages and assessments and A3 thinking that help with that. And you can learn all of those. So, again, to begin, here's my recommendations for ways to start. Understand what the project is about. Clarify what not only what the project needs to be constructing, but also how everybody is contributing to that. Have a weekly planning rigor or discipline that includes daily commitments. Creating a very general daily weekly plan is inferior to having a plan that you understand every day what you're going to be doing. And that's really the core part of the last planner system, is that discipline of daily commitments in a weekly planning process. Daily huddles should focus on learning. So you can, every day when you have a huddle with your team, it's like, what did we learn? What can we do better? What did we do that was better than what we expected? And what can we take from this in terms of how we're managing the project? And make all of this learning that you're doing visible for each other. And then finally, it's important to have some structured learning as part of building your capability. There's a lot of information out there. You can read books and so forth, but there are structures and like the Lean Construction Education Program that have already helped organize this information in a way that will accelerate your learning. So it's worthwhile. Yeah, I think I'm happy to share this, or Tony may be sharing this, but really my pleasure to present to you today, and hopefully at the end of the session, you'll have some questions. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Tom, definitely I will share the document what you've shared with me earlier. So Tom, it's really enlightening. So we'll come to your presentation and more discussion as we go. Warren?
Yeah. Tony, let me just get set up real quick. That was great, Tom. Thank you so much for showing people. And can you all see my screen?
Yes, you're good to go. Yes.
Okay, yeah. That Tom's presentation really dealt with lean in action, right? So all of the skills and knowledge that people have assembled over time to practice at a really high level lean construction and actually construction management at a really high level. So we would call that in the United States industry best practices. So I work for an association called the Associated General Contractors of America, and that is an organization with 28,000 member companies within the United States. So to become a member of the association, you're a commercial contractor or a specialty contractor, a supplier to commercial construction industry. So we have a large body of construction companies that make up our base. So a lot of the most active members are representative by their top executives. So the top executives in the association can direct the resources and attention of the staff, as well as ways to help the industry and other companies. So they came up with an idea to improve productivity, improve project delivery, better outcomes for their projects, better lives for their workers. And they found in Glenn Ballard and Greg Howell, who founded Lean Construction, a methodology in which they could achieve and share this information with each other and the members to help improve all of their projects. So that was the intent when they created the Lean Construction Education Program and the CM Lean Credential. We're going to talk about that today, and it's my pleasure to join you all. So what are the benefits of lean construction, and why create the credential? And essentially one of the reasons is the clients ask for it. They want assurances that we're going to meet the deadlines. We're going to be able to do what we say we're going to do. So we want to have credentials that show that the people working on their projects have the professional skills to do this work in such a way that is recognized as industry best practices. So people within, and what we find is there's a lot of people who want to take the course, the CM Lean course and the Lean Construction Education Program. But really it is the member companies who select a lot of the people who will take the course because they recognize those people. And so people enjoy a chance to be developed, professional development, get some recognition, earn these skills and knowledge so that they're in a position to lead projects. And so these are people who've shown the skill at lower levels to do these types of projects. So what our companies see is increased efficiency and productivity, the cost controls, profitability, the quality of the output is there, the safety and morale are so much better after people have implemented lean, people are happy. It's a competitive advantage over companies who don't practice lean. So that's why a lot of clients are asking for people or companies that perform with lean construction methodology. And then ultimately that leads to greater stakeholder satisfaction, whether you're a specialty contractor, a general contractor, or a customer. All the stakeholders should be valued and satisfied through the project. So with our organization, we have within it different levels of courses. So if you're a new supervisor, there's a course for you, Construction Supervision Fundamentals. If you're a superintendent, there's a more sophisticated course called Supervisory Training Program. And then once you've kind of mastered the skill level for supervising, a great next step would be to be a lean construction education program student and earn your CM lean. Now, a lot of people in the project management side have studied lean construction, which is very important as well. But it's not, if you don't have it on your projects and in the project leadership on site, you will maybe not see the benefits as well, because like you saw with Tom's presentation, the superintendent is coaching with the other trades to coordinate the work, whether it be look ahead, weekly work plan, daily huddles, those kinds of things that are implemented as part of lean. They have to be done on site in a habit, in a way that people really understand lean construction and how its methodology works. So one of the great things about Lean Construction Education Program is that we have a lot of really smart people in our organization, and people like Tom, Tony. They've earned their CM Lean and have been instructors as well, and not only in the United States, but in Qatar. We have courses in Canada and Mexico. So we have people throughout the world that are learning lean construction from our course. And we started with a member company executive who really was passionate about lean construction, and he wanted to start the program. So we did. And in 2015, we had the first CM Lean credential holders. And in 2023, we updated the Lean Construction Education Program to incorporate all the feedback from the first iteration and generation of CM Lean holders, and incorporate new information that would resonate for the program students. So one of the things that we found was, for example, what is lean construction? And before, we kind of ran into variation and how variation happens on projects, but we kind of skipped that very basic thing. What is lean? Why lean? What are the tenets of lean construction, which is the foundation of all the things that people learn as they incorporate all the skills needed for practicing lean construction. And so our objectives are to really develop the level of awareness for our students and the understanding of lean construction practices so that they can earn their credential. And then ultimately, you're not just learning a credential, but you're learning a more efficient way of working on your project teams. So you're practicing all the lean skills, and you're implementing the knowledge of how to align, how to collaborate, how to show respect for people, how to solve problems, those kinds of things. And so participants obtain a foundation of lean principles. And there's a lot of activities. There's a lot of learning that takes place within groups, within problem-solving exercises. The main point of emphasis and why I mentioned that the field component of lean is so important is the last planner system. We also talk about plan, do, check, act, which Tom talked about, problem solving, waste removal, the 5S, which is all about how clean and organized your project is. I know in America we can have that can be a challenge, so it's really important to emphasize that and planning for that flow efficiency and engaging the teams. So the course structure it's a 36-hour course, and each unit, except for unit 4, is 6 hours. So we talk about what is lean and what are the important components, like how do we identify value, minimize waste, those types of things. And then we talk about process and production basics, production systems, and then the last planner system is unit 4, and that's a real big component of the course is how last planner is intended to operate and how to do that. And then unit 5 is lean thinking applied outside of field production. So that's all of the supporting, I guess, elements of lean. So design, contracts, problem solving, those types of things, A3s you might have heard of before. So that is how the course works. And we do offer virtual courses. I think Tony's offering virtual, and some places do in seat as well. So it can work either way. And in the United States and within our organization, a lot of companies pay for their students to attend as they identify candidates for leadership positions and development opportunities. So one of the biggest components is why lean? Why do lean? Why make the investment in the education and in practices? And it's a big. A lot of studies have been done. Lean Construction Institute, which is a kind of a sister organization to us, and we work with them in Qatar and in the United States. They've done studies that show that lean maximizes value. Projects that have used high intensity lean or used lean practices, they've completed ahead of schedule like 45% of their projects and under budget 70% versus a much lower total if they don't use lean. So we've engaged with a lot of large construction companies in the United States to measure these outcomes and look at the data so that we can really see, is this working? Because if you're going to take the time to implement a project or convert your company operations to this, you want to measure that it's effective. And so the member companies who have undertaken this investment have found that this is indeed the case, and it's helping their project outcomes in all of those different levels. And as manufacturing gets more and more sophisticated, we've got to level up as well. Construction historically has not kept pace with production improvements over the years, whereas other industries have. So lean is one way that we can improve our productivity, reduce waste, and have better outcomes for our projects. And just so you know that there's a 36-hour course, and that's the Lean Construction Education Program. And then we also have the CM Lean Credential, which is an additional exam. So once you've gone through the course, you can apply for the exam. And once you're approved to take the exam, you have I think 6 months to go ahead and complete the exam. You can take it wherever you want, whenever you want. There's 150 questions, and all you have to do is get 105, a score of 105 or higher. And so when you pass the exam, you earn your CM Lean credential, and then it is a foundational step to earning the LCI CPC certification, which Tony actually has. And I think he was the first international um, um, practitioner awarded that certification. So our CM Lean is made up of just the content of the Lean Construction Education Program course, and the certification is like a body of work. So you demonstrate and you show how you applied the Lean principles through your career to improve projects that you worked on, and then you're considered, you can apply for certification, and that's part of it. The other part is taking an exam. So those are the components. And then, why would someone want to do that? Well, it's professional development. You go through this process and you're improving not only yourself, but you're being recognized within the industry. Your company can include that in their submission for work. And it's a great way to show that your company has a lot of qualified professionals managing the project. They may even be asking for it. And then just as far as the exam goes, we have international exams. So we have a company called ExamSoft that does our exams. And so it's a third party. And then we have someone who administers those exams, and that's me, as well as my colleague, Angela Barnes. So if you ever have any questions about an exam or even a course, you'll see that email education@agc.org. And you can look at agc.org itself for more information on Lean construction and all of our programs. And we have some additional resources there. And that's it.
That's great. Thanks, Warren. We will have our a Q&A soon. I just want to show only a few slides, and I don't want to give much of, because you both have given a lot of information for the people to digest today. Warren, I just want to add that we have that 101 course free, right? For
We
those
do,
who are
yes.
practicing. Yeah, okay. So that's something. Anyway, I'll send out the details when I'm sharing the details. So anyone interested, they can just enroll for that 101, and then you can take it forward from there. Okay, so that's great. I just want to add a few points only. I'm just pulling up my slides. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so see, when we listen to Tom and Warren, we all understand how does the lean is enlightening or uplifting our efficiency or the productivity in our overall project. So I just want to connect to one aspect here is there is a book which I like very much. It's called This is Lean. And we can see that there is a metrics which they mentioned as an efficiency metric. So many times what happen is in a construction industry, the people understand about lean. They use that lean to improve the productivity or to get the resource efficiency. Many times, the people get lost in that process. Very, very less people, unless until they undergo the real learning and understanding about what is lean, they don't really understand the flow efficiency. So what will happen is people trying to apply these concepts, tools, and techniques to get an instant win. It's something like you're going to get some win immediately when you apply these tools and practices. You do a weekly planning, and you call all the people on daily basis and trying to get the work done. So instead of understanding the concepts, the principles, and thinking behind it, and you try to push the people to get the productivity for it, each team may look like performers, or they may bring in some kind of a productivity, but they become more of a kind of an island. So that is where we get lost in that. So the lean ultimate focus is to focus or to eliminate the bottlenecks and challenges and troubles in between us, and ensuring that each process activity is happening on a smooth manner. Like, in a concept, we understand who is the customer and who is the supplier. Everyone in the project is a customer at some point of time. So we need to look at who is our customer and to meet their requirement and to understand their needs. And we complete our job without any inefficiency, without any waste, and passing to them. They take over the work and then keep on moving. So we are ensuring that the flow efficiency. So there are a lot of studies even saying that the productivity, even 80% efficiency is going to help us to improve the flow efficiency is much higher. What will happen in a typical construction project is, in the beginning, we all focus on a resource efficiency. Each team, the architect, the we focus on a cost and everything. But towards the end of a project, we are forced to get into a situation like, we are completely losing our resource efficiency, and then everyone will be asked to focus on a flow efficiency, by force. So that is where we call it as a firefighting and the last minute rush. So we have to avoid that, and when we really apply the lean concepts in a structured way. So in a typical project, we focus on a time, cost, and quality, because everyone wants the project to be completed on time, lower cost, and better quality. But the what will happen is, on the beginning of a project, the people will start focusing on a cost, so they take long time, and then they focus on a time, then the quality is getting hit. So instead of focusing on each constraints, whatever we are calling it as a triple constraints, standalone for a fixed scope, we need to focus on the transform, the value, and the flow, which is the TVF concepts of Koskela has brought into the construction industry. So that ultimately will come benefit in terms of a time, cost, and quality in our project performance. Like, Warren has shown some survey results and the experience from the AGC member organization. How do they find value and everything? So all this will happen when we have or bringing the concept of a collaboration into the systems and the project. Now, why the lean is important? I just want to add only one quick slide and then get moving into the next agenda item. We have to bring the continuous improvement culture in the construction industry. So the construction industry have a problem. We always find in Indian language, we call it as a jugaad, a temporary solution, or a fix. We find it always, and we have to solve the problems and move forward. But the industry doesn't require a jugaad or a temporary fix. What we need is a long-term permanent solution. We want the automation, the innovation, and the better way of working. So the lean can bring a greater perspective or a prospect into that area, because the lean can connect the people, processes, and tools together to show you where we need to accelerate the work, where we need to improve the processes, and where this tool can help us. So ultimately, the lean will be helping us to bring more of automations and innovation into our industry, and that is going to help us to bring our projects less costlier, and able to complete within a shorter duration and deliver a better quality products. So to coming to the overall platform, the Warren was mentioning about the LCI, the AGC. So if you really want to get into the lean implementation and practices, there are a lot of professional bodies and organizations are there. In Indian context, there is an organization, Indian Institute of Lean Construction Excellence. We have a LCI, the Lean Construction Institute, have a Qatar and the US. LCI Qatar used to conduct LCEP programs. And we have a AGC, which is again a body of contractors. They come up with the LCEP training programs. We have ISO 18404 route where E-Lean Consulting, Supra is also here. There are a different approach to go for it. But all these are interconnected. It's not a standalone or competing each other. They are complementing each other. And also in the recent race, the PMI also joined in that. The PMI now having an association with LCI, and they come up with the PMI construction professional. It's a new certification for the construction industry, which is called as a PMP for construction industry, which is having almost a 26% of content from the lean concepts. And it's having the last planner systems, the big room, the A3, all the tools and techniques of the lean are now integrated into the project management certification also. So someone want to really look for educating themselves on a lean, there are different ways of doing that. And we have the career coaches like Tom, and there are different institutions and organizations are there like us to promote the lean consulting training and implementation in your project. So one of such occasion, I just want to come to a quick announcement now. One of such occasion which happened recently, the ILCC 2025 Indian Lean Construction Conference happened in IIT Tirupati, which is organized by Institute for Lean Construction Excellence, which is started in 2008. And so far, it's conducted 8 annual conferences. And this time it is it's so huge. Now you can see the number of participants here. This is only half of the participants. This is the workshop day attendance, and the conference day attendance. You will see that it will be very full. I couldn't get that picture rightly. And there's a lot of tracks where the papers were presented and case studies were presented, and it was a great honor for us. When I'm saying us, myself and my mentor, Dr. Rasogi, and Mr. Manoranjan, he is also in the call now. We got an opportunity to release our book on lean construction. So I just want to share this happy news with all of you with humble, proud, and prestigiously say that it was our great honor to present this paper, this book in the conference, and it is released by our Professor Satya. He is one of the director of Institute for Lean Construction Excellence, founder, and he was very supportive when Dr. Sogi was the ALC hub leader in Hyderabad, and we were all working together on spreading the lean in the Indian context as well. So it was a great honor for us, and the book has been already been reviewed by several people, including Ben of PMI and Sanjay of Madhya Pradesh government principal secretary, and there are 5 industry professionals and 5 academic people are also being reviewed this, and they all shared a very positive feedback and forward to this book. And we'll be releasing that in a very soon in a e-book as well as on a printed one. I have Manoranjan here. Manoranjan, if you can hear me, can you just say 2 minutes of
Hello.
time?
Yeah, camera is not getting on. So
No problem. No problem. So please tell us, he's my co-author. He's applied lean. He's a practitioner. He's a retired engineering head of Odisha government. And he implemented lean in his project along with Dr. Sogi. And I also got an opportunity to be part of the project very smaller way. And that's how we connected. And can you just give a quick overview of the book?
thank you, Tony. Hi, Tom and Warren. So we applied lean, as Tony explained. We applied lean as long back as in 2017. We started the journey, and after that we have implemented lean in several projects. And in fact, 2018 our paper was selected and we presented it in LCI. That time it was in Orlando, so we presented that paper. So this was all about reducing the time, balanced construction time of a bridge, river bridge. So the pace at which it was going, with the constraints with which it was moving, it was almost another 400 days were left to do the work. So what we decided actually to reduce the span to 200 days, actually construction span, and we did it. So we decided, and the 1st of April, exactly on the 200 day, the Chief Minister of Orissa government, he inaugurated that bridge. So after that, our paper was selected and we presented it. So basically, we harped upon several aspects of the lean concepts, like value stream mapping. It was number 1. Then collaborative planning systems. All these things were applied. Next, we had a group of 89 sports complexes to be constructed all over the state. So what we did actually, we applied the concept of batch processing. So we divided it into 2 different categories, And out of 89, 52 and 37, we made two groups depending on the building plans. And we started doing that. So what we did, the project was to be delivered in 12 months because the election deadline was nearer. So another constraint was there from our side. So we applied these concepts, and basically CPS, BSM, A3, big room, all these concepts were applied practically, and we got the result completely in in these projects. So there are two, three more projects. I think I'll not take much of your time, Tony. All these things, what I mean to say, all these things we have described in that book also. We have around 15 case studies, 14 case studies in that book, and 50 plus examples, all practical examples, how we have done it, where we have succeeded, and what better could have been done. Everything has been noted in that book. So I'll request if you can go through, everyone can go through it and give their positive feedback so that it will be beneficial for the academics as well as the industry people, students as well as the practitioners. Thank you all. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Manoranjan. Thanks for taking your time. Actually, I was requesting Dr. Asogi, but he was extremely traveling, and then is kind of requested for to excuse for time being. Okay, so without now delaying much, let us get into the question and answers. So meanwhile, you can raise your hand, and then I can give a permission for you to speak up. Is there any questions in the chat? If not, if anyone having any questions, can you please raise your hand, and I will give a mic permission for you to speak up. Any questions? Any queries or anything you need to clarify from any of the speakers? Please feel free to raise. So Tom, till people comes up, I just want to ask one question. It's always we can say that lean is beneficial, but the people will have a challenge in to get into the implementation. The management is not supporting, and there will be a lot of other issues are there. So how do we usually take such kind of things in a handle it in a nicer way?
Yeah, I think you're touching really on an issue that's become central for me is this lean capability that we talk about building on projects. When we do that and we're successful, and you see this around the world, that you get some really great results with these practices. What I've noticed in companies is that even in the same city, you can have some project teams that are really excellent, performing really well, and others that don't use these practices and aren't interested in it. And I've really come to the conclusion that the same type of capability building that we talk about in terms of, it's essentially leadership capability that we're talking about in my presentation, that we're building in project teams. We need to actually take that to the leadership of a lot of these organizations. And it's these are smart people in all these companies that I've worked with that are leading these companies. They're not yet recognizing the importance of engaging and, in some senses, governing how their projects perform in the way that Toyota was able to. So there's quite a lot of autonomy in Toyota factories, and yet there is this same level of discipline throughout the entire organization in terms of learning, improving, and sharing that knowledge. And leadership at the top levels is engaged in that. And I think that's missing in a lot of construction firms. And I think we can take these same leadership ideas that I've talked about for projects and really start to work with leadership teams so that they understand, that there are mechanisms in this lean body of work for leading in a way that's going to get them more uniform results across the organization, and not just some great projects, some okay projects, and others that are struggling, but really have uniform excellence. But it takes that senior leadership.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree. This is my experience as well. We have one question. Nidal, you can unmute and ask now.
I hope I'm clear.
Yes, Nidal.
Yes. So first of all, thank you, Mr. Tony. Thank you, Mr. Varun and Mr. Tom. It was a fruitful section and it provided really valuable insights on the lean practices in the construction. So let me introduce myself. My name is Nidal. I have been working as a lean engineer. Presently, I'm working in ECC, the team of lean led by Mr. Samir Abudaka. So we are focused more on the process improvement, efficiency, and continuous improvement initiatives across the construction projects. So I would like to seek your insight on a question. So the question goes this: do you really believe that the lean should be a function that should be a separate department to play a crucial role in construction, or should it be more effective when it is being integrated with other departments such as planning, operations, and cost control? I ask this because even though we have a strong team as a lean engineer, I personally sometimes felt that it was challenging to fully get into the real issues, as we know that always we are not, inside the loop or in the mainstream. So the information sharing will not be always way too open in construction. So this is my question.
Tom,
Yeah,
you can
sure.
address first. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that in certain organizations. Yeah, and it's actually common. It's like, that's the lean group and these are the lean champions. And it almost goes back to what I'm observing is that sort of machine thinking. That's the lean part. And if they do their job, things will work. And I believe what you're getting at really is that, lean is really more about it's an operating philosophy throughout the organization. It's a way of organizing the system of work throughout the entire, whether it's a project or a company, it's a way of organizing that work. So it's about the system, not individual parts. And so, but at least I observe that some companies just want to make it a part in their machine as opposed to understanding it as a system. And if you go back to Toyota, there is no lean department. There is, in fact, they don't use the word lean until they retire and become consultants. But Toyota is it's the way we do things. We have a system. It's a Toyota production system, and it's just the way we do work. It's not a specialty.
Yeah, so just to add on, Tom, I can understand what the context of Nidal. We all worked in one of the projects in Qatar as well. The organizations, when you are having a separate department for anything, be it a quality, be it a safety, then everyone else will start thinking that it is their responsibility to get the value out of it. Like, you have a quality department, the people thinking the quality is their responsibility, not the person who does the person. So when I'll tell my experience of I joined a company, Bovis Lendlease, when I was a project engineer, so very young, when I started my career. The first thing my project manager told me is, Tony, you're a mini project manager. You're responsible for safety, quality, execution, planning. It's everything. And that's my suggestion to everyone, to organization as well. We need to train. We need to bring this concept of lean into every organization, every part of every department of it. And that's what I do it when I go for a consulting or implementing lean. I've done it for a different organization in Riyadh. Recently, I've done it in Chennai. I've done it in Bangalore, in India, in different area. So when we go to the organization and project, I asked every people from the design to procurement to contracts to safety to quality to execution to planner to contractor to consultant, everyone to be part of the lean training discussions, and then you take your part and do it. But of course, we need someone to drive it. We need a department to drive it, like either it's a continuous improvement or a lean, because they are the champions who can just, help them, because, they catch up or pick up the things much earlier. So it's something like, we have to do the strengthen the foundation by giving the lean knowledge to everyone. So I follow the 10, 20, 70 approach. everyone should have that 10% of knowledge, but 70% on the job they should do it. So the lean champions and the people can give more hands-on when they go to implementation level. So it is required, but it should not spoil the people thinking that these people are to take over your job and to get the job done. So I usually say that myself as a management consultant, I'm a catalyst. So I'm not taking over your job and doing it. I'm just catalyst. I can help you. So similarly, the department, the lean, the functions, the champions are the catalyst. They're not to take over your job and do it for you to bring an improvement in your project or to increase your efficiency. But these people can really accelerate your way of working. Make sense, Nidal? Any further questions? Otherwise, we'll go to Kumar.
No. Thank you so much. Like you said, it is all about a cultural change. It takes time.
Sure.
Thank you for the response. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Nidal, I would like to really highlight that ACC, one of the pioneer in this UAE region. You got a lot of CM Lean certified professionals. Also, we have Samar here. You are a cost control director and a lean construction director with us today in this call. And also, you are the only one construction company which has received ISO 18404 certification as well as renewed it continuously. And we
Absolutely.
sincerely appreciate all your efforts, all your continued support for lean construction, what you do in as well as out of this industry. And
Absolutely.
it's good to have your participations as well as Mr. Samar's participation in this call. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Summer is a great leader. We always interact and on several occasions. So he really does it. See, there is one thing is there. See, whoever is having that lean understanding, you will see more inefficiency. So I see that this is as part of they'll learn more, they'll have more questions, and they'll have more eagerness to improve it. Anyway, that's great. Can we go to Kumar? Kumar, you can unmute.
Me?
Yes, we
Are
can
you
hear
able
you.
to hear me?
Yes, Kumar.
Yeah. Good evening. Thanks for a very great session, and it is gives good impress. This question is to Manoranjan Mishra. If he is available, I am very happy if he answer my question.
Yes, I
What
am
I
available. Please go ahead.
Yes, what I thought I am working. My name is Virendra Kumar. I am working as a lean and agile manager in Latvia, Sweden, Poland, Germany. And actually, I am working in lean manager. So I am very much interested. You were telling that 400 to 200 days it is again. What kind of artificial intelligence tools you used in your project? And I feel collaborative planning is not at all working at European region because most of the works will be done by subcontracting, and the last planner does not work. Only 30% of the work will work. Last planner will do. Remaining techniques will work. So I would like to know from Manoranjan, how do you implement artificial intelligence tools and VSM mapping? How do you done? Just give me 1 or 2 minutes. How do you done? Then it will be very helpful for me.
Okay, I let me tell you. This project actually, this was the first project in which we implemented Lean. This was a river bridge over River Mahanadi in Cuttack, Odisha. So the bridge was about more than 2 kilometers long, 2.3 kilometers something. So the way in which the project was progressing, the tools and other things, the contract documents, the contract provisions, whatever were there, they were just binding on the contractor, and the pace with which it was moving. There are another 200 days left for the contract, but the pace it was moving, it almost it has to take another 400 days with the equipments plans. So what we did, we started with the very fundamental equipment of the bridge, that is a launching girder. So what we found, the launching girder, actually each launching girder, it takes 22 days in a span. So we tried to reduce that. We using BSM and SMED, we tried to use the reduce the use of the launching girder from 22 days. We reduced it to 13 days, and finally we could reduce it to 5.5 days. So that was the equipment efficiency which we got. So that was one of the major achievements. Second is transportation. Transportation of the girders, actually, it was taking almost in a busy city. On daytime, it was not possible to transport the girders. So in the night time, we used to transport. And in one transport transportation, only one girder was going on a trailer, and we used to spend the entire night. So there actually we did some intervention. So a lot of interventions rather that I can later on share with you. So with that actually we reduced the girder was shifted that night, and the vehicle would come back this same day before morning 6 o'clock. So that we saved one day there. So in one we started using three such trailers, and all these combinedly all these interventions could reduce the total time to 200 days as scheduled earlier.
Can I just add one thing, Manoranjan, for the benefit of Viru? Viru, there is no artificial intelligence used in this project.
No,
You
it
know,
was
only
done in 2018, I told you, na.
human intelligence is what we have used completely.
It was completely HI.
Yeah. Like the last slide I show you, Viru, the lean is going to help you to innovate and automate many things. See the fundamentally. So if you're saying the lean is not practicing, I will go to the fundamentals. Probably the fundamentals are not getting implemented or understood by the people. So the lean is giving you an eyes for observing, eyes for analysis, and the capability for bringing the people together and then understanding. So it's a collaborative work to do it together to find out where the improvement is possible or where we are lacking, and then find and move forward. Tom, you want to bring some perspective to various questions?
Um, well, if I may, I'll quickly address the AI issue because at least here it gets talked about a lot. And I think there is, I mean, there are instances where it will help with automation, but what I'm finding in working with it actually is a great tool for accelerating learning, which I think is a core part of this lean mindset is like, how quickly can we learn? And because it can work through information very quickly and provide feedback and even do what if analysis with you based on its knowledge base really quickly. I'm finding that at least on a personal level, when I use it, prefer personally or individually in a professional sense, it's really accelerates how quickly I can learn. And that allows me to produce more value more quickly. And I think as we learn to apply this in learning, and I can see this even in something like the last planner system, improving how we learn from plan variances, providing better information that will allow us to work in smaller batches or at least zones in terms of what a lot of people know as TAC planning. There's a lot of learning that could be accelerated with artificial intelligence, and that's where I see a lot of promise.
Yeah, that's great. So hopefully, Viru, we answered you. Again, we can connect offline and then continue our discussions. Thanks for the questions. Rupesh, you can unmute.
Yeah, good evening all. It's Rupesh.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Actually, first of all, thanks for a good session. Here are lots of things covered related to the construction. And thanks to Tony and Manojan and all team together. I am working in the ACC group for the Abenos team. But my question is related to most of the articles or these topics available books and other things related to the construction management. But Abenos, just like supply for the construction industry, that is, we are manufacturing sub parts, for example, door and furniture parts, also in PMI. So here variety of the product is very high. We are applying VSM and other thing tool, but variation is the major concern. So in your books or case study, we can see some related example, because previously I have experience in manufacturing or automobile field, but same principle we can't apply here. So some variation is there. That is my concern actually. We are applying since last 2 years, but still we are struggling in the factory side.
Yeah, absolutely. You will find a lot of things in the book. Dr. Asogi is actually came from a lean manufacturing background. And then, he applied lean in, he's actually an industrial engineer. That's how he started. And we started exploring the lean in construction in 2012 onwards. And it's a great journey. So you will find a lot of, like, we were having a different columns, and we try to bring that reduction of numbers. I can think about quick some examples of it. So there are a lot of areas where the variation, reductions, and then how to bring this lean thinking into the construction industry. So purely this book, what we are talking, is completely on bringing this lean thinking and lean concepts and lean tools into the construction only. So hopefully you will be able to get more insight into that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tony. We'll see it.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So we have only 4 minutes left. Sorry, 6 minutes left. So we can take one more questions. Otherwise, please scan this QR code, and if you are interested to get the article which is written by Tom, if you would like to know more about the LCEP, or you would like to more about the book and everything, you can just scan it, and then please share your details and questions in that, and we'll come back to you. And we'll upload. There's an article, beautiful article written by Tom. I'll upload in the website, and I will also share the detail with you. And you can also reach out to Tom directly through LinkedIn, and Warren as well. So we all will be there to support you. Whatever the information you required for a lean, these are our LinkedIn QR codes. So you can just scan and then join our LinkedIn network. So please feel free to reach out to us. Subra, you want to add few words and to a conclusion? How do we proceed?
Yeah, there are some interesting questions about AI and how lean construction and AI can augment. Okay.
Excellent,
So,
excellent. Please add on.
I have a recent experience, okay, with one of our client where we have introduced enterprise perplexity tool for a group of selected people, very shortlisted people, and none of them techie, none of them coders, none of them programmers. Okay, we have only given this tool and introduced what it can do and how it can be benefited, and we have shared some interesting case studies which is happening across the world. And if you see within the time of 90 days, the number of user case studies this company has created has skyrocketed than anything else with this 90 people. And these 90 peoples are from finance, HR, marketing, operations, planning, and even site people and customer care. And the way they have used AI tools and leveraged to create custom applications and small like AI dashboards or Power BI dashboards, and even small apps, okay, that connects to their Outlook, that connects to their SharePoint, that connects to their database, that connects to their even equipment asset details. So it goes everywhere. AI with existing enterprise architecture, ERPs, as well as in Outlook, as well as in the current technology platform, when it is given on top of that with people creativity and the problem solving skills, it really does wonder. And I am excited to see what it can do for lean construction and construction industries. Lean construction can become the bedrock and foundation of lean thinking for construction industries. On top of that, lean construction thinking plus AI tools, when it is applied, it can unlock huge impact to the construction industry.
Absolutely. So that's one topic for a webinar itself, Subra. I think we should have a webinar on that.
You are spot on. It's a real hot topic for a webinar. Okay. And finally, I would like to conclude with lean thinking, with lean construction thinking, what it can do the industry, what it can do the construction industry. It can give zero waiting time, and it can give zero delay, and it can even reduce 50% of the budget what you have. So workers will not wait for work, as we always say, and work will not wait for work. So this is what it can unlock and give to the construction projects. Okay. So with that, okay, I'm just concluding.
Subra, you just reminded me one more thing. Myself, Manoranjan, and Dr. Sogi, we are writing another book. It's almost concluded. It's a AI in construction. So it will have a lot of user cases, where the lean thinking has been applied to improve the current situation and then working on it. So we are now currently now the stages of, we are giving different chapters to the various expertise and getting a feedbacks and everything. So we are targeting Manoranjan, please correct me, targeting next March, June is the
End
time
of
we are
March.
targeting. End of
Yeah.
March is we are targeting for it. So hopefully, we could able to bring a lot of traction with that as well. Lean and AI together. Yeah, that's great.
Great.
So
Great to know
Tom,
that.
Warren, you want to add a final, quick minute, a final advice to the people? And
Well, maybe less advice and more of an invitation. As Tony and Warren, love talking about lean and lean construction. So don't hesitate to shoot me an email or via LinkedIn, connect or send messages. I love talking about this stuff and learning from all of you. It would be a great honor and opportunity. So don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Yeah, and I did put in the Lean 101, the link to the page, and then there's a link to the course itself in the chat that I made. And then I also saw, Tony, that there were two questions. People wanted to know if they will get the PowerPoints from the presentation today, and is your book available in ebook?
right. Oh, thanks for bringing to the notice. Yes, the book is available in ebook also. We'll be making the announcement shortly in a week time. So it will be available in Kindle, in Google, and it will be in Amazon, everywhere it will be there. And the PPTs, I need to talk to Tom and Warren separately, and then if they're okay, then I can upload that as well in the website as a separate. So it's technically possible. Let me see the practicality of it and then come back to you.
Cheers. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for the time
So
and a great
thanks a lot.
conversation.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Warren. And thanks, Manoranjan. Thanks, Subra. Thank you, everyone, those who participated, joined from across the globe. There was a technical glitch. There is even Tom joined last minute. And I got at least 10 messages saying that, we are unable to join. We have some technical issues and everything. I'm sorry. I apologize for all the challenges. But thanks for making it and encouraging us for conducting more and more such webinars and sessions. Feel free to get in touch. You all know our contacts, and then we'll be more than happy to support you. So thank you very much once again. Have a great day or a great night ahead, based on wherever you are. And thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Thanks everyone.
everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So thank you, gentlemen. So I'm going to end this webinar. Thank you,
Okay,
Tom.
great.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Tony. Thanks, Tom.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Thank you. Bye bye.